In a world where hopium and common sense collide, starring the CryptoKeeper and BlockchainCrusader. Welcome to DebateCrypto. Question everything.
Trust nothing.
It's your boys, Keeper and Crusader, here on a beautiful Tuesday evening, ready to rock out with our... Oh, no, we can't say that. We are going to have some fun this evening with the crypto market. We got some good articles to dive into. Just a quick reminder, the free mint is happening sooner than you might think. Join
100%.
the Discord. We keep talking about it. Every day you wake up and you're not in the Discord, you are less prepared than the person that got in there before you. So I just want to make that reminder known. Got to get in the Discord. Check it out. We are helping people get prepared for what, I don't know, I see as inevitable. But we shall see. Miguelito, ¿cómo estás? What's on the podium tonight?
We got Terra Labs again with some crazy news coming out. We got Roger Ver doing some crazy possible defaults on some companies that are going to come after him for some money. And finally, we got Snoop Dogg doing his Snoop Dogg thing in the crypto verse once again. So yeah, dude, we got a lot of different things happening right now, a lot of different chaos happening. These lending platforms, more and more information keeps coming out that things are falling apart sometimes. It's just bad times right now.
Yeah, dude. And actually I think the headline of the Snoop Dogg article says Snoop Dogg weeding out. And I was like, yeah, I like that. I always like the little dad jokes there. So dad jokes for the win. That's dope. Hey, if you guys are looking for TA stuff prior to our stream, make sure you get over to BitBoy Crypto Show and see your boy Frankie Candles. Be part of the Candle Mafia. Check him out. Good friend of the channel. We like to have him on randomly on Thursdays. And then as always, we got CVO and Magic. You know, those are our boys as well. So make sure to check them out as well. We like to give you guys the heat when it comes to technical analysis. Tomorrow, just getting the news out of the way, guys. Tomorrow night, we're going to have a very controversial but fantastically deep conversation. We've got your boy Zach Rector coming on. And for those of you that don't know Zach, he is, Miguel's foe as it relates to XRP. He's a big XRP fan, right? But he also dives deep into some of the ideas that, can join with how we think as it relates to prepping, etc. I think he also, aligns and maybe even has some differences too as it relates to some political thoughts. So we're going to talk a little Roe v. Wade. Don't freak out. We're not going to be pinning anybody down on their thoughts on abortion. So don't anybody freak out on me. We're actually diving a lot further and deeper into it because most of you don't even know, and we'll get into tomorrow night, what that case was actually about. So we'll dive into that tomorrow night, 7:30. Make sure you don't miss it. All right. Without further ado, let's check out what the markets look like. This is my least favorite part of the show now that we are in the bear market. It is a big wah. The global crypto market cap is $910.3 billion with a B dollars, down 3%. Everything's always red. We've got Bitcoin at 20,286, red. ETH 1148, red. Tether, freaking red. USDC's in the green, baby. Let's go. BNB 227, red. BUSD, okay. We got a couple stable coins that are hanging tough at $1. XRP, red. Cardano 47 cents, red. Solana down 9%, $35.26, red. And then Dogecoin. I do want to throw this out there. I am not a Solana fan. Definitely, you guys know I roll with ETH. If I was to consider, this is just me personally, if I was to even consider touching Solana, which side note, I'm not going to, but if I was, I might be starting to check it out down at some of these lower levels. But we're going to talk a little later about some super low levels as it relates to Bitcoin. Your boy, Miguel's boy, Robert Kiyosaki, Rich Dad, Poor Dad. He's got some interesting thoughts. So, all right, that's it. Let's dive into the first article. Let's see what the people want to hear. Let's kick it off with Robert Kiyosaki. Let's talk about this crazy old fool. Rich Dad, Poor Dad author says, I'm waiting for Bitcoin to test $1,100. Here's Robert Kiyosaki right there. I'm sure a lot of you have seen or heard him speak. Miguel's got some interesting thoughts on this, so I'm going to read a little bit, and then we'll let him take the stage. Robert Kiyosaki, author of the best-selling book on financial literacy, Rich Dad, Poor Dad, and a well-known Bitcoin and real estate investor, has taken to Twitter to voice his new prediction about the Bitcoin price in the near future and share his buy the dip plans. He says, I'm waiting for Bitcoin to test $1,100. Kiyosaki has again tweeted about winners and losers, saying that winners learn from their mistakes. Therefore, he does expect the global flagship crypto, Bitcoin, to drop further and is waiting for Bitcoin to test $1,100. He stated that Bitcoin should recover after that. He will buy more of it. Or he said, I'm sorry, should Bitcoin recover after that, he will buy more of it. However, another option for him to buy on the dip is waiting for paper hands, whom he calls losers, to capitulate. Miguel, well, hold on. Let me read this last part. Rich Dad lesson. Losers quit when they lose. Bitcoin losers are quitting, some committing suicide. Winners learn from their losses. I'm waiting for Bitcoin to test 1,100. If it recovers, I'll buy more. If it doesn't, I'll wait for the losers to capitulate, quit, and buy more. Miguel, why is this such a ridiculous? Besides the fact that I don't listen, if we see an $1,100 Bitcoin, I got to tell you, how many people we got in here right now? We got 32 people in here right now. If we aren't all climbing over top of each other to get loans from our family to sell off, historic family like treasures when Bitcoin's at $1,100. If we're not doing that, there's a problem, right? Why else is this kind of a crazy thing, specifically with Robert Kiyosaki?
So, dude, I love Robert Kiyosaki. I watch a lot of his content, and he's a really smart guy who made all his money in real estate. He's a big proponent on taking on debt to make more money. He's never one of those people who says, "Oh, you gotta get out of debt, be afraid of debt." He's like, "Nah, use debt to its extent. You make leverages on your wealth, so that way you don't have to pay taxes on your assets and yada yada." So, great advice, super smart guy. But when it comes to crypto, it's out of his league, right? He's being fed some of this information from some of his people. I don't know who it is, but an $1,100 Bitcoin is just not going to happen. That's a ridiculous thing to wait for. If you're going to be waiting for 1,100, I guess you're just never going to buy Bitcoin ever again. Because if Bitcoin hits 1,100, I mean that would be happening maybe during a grid down scenario when no one sees it. That's when Bitcoin probably hit 1,100.
Yeah, we're gonna be trading Bitcoin back and forth via our ham radio at that point. If it hits 1,100, we're gonna be in some trouble.
Exactly, right? Exactly. Like, it's just such a ridiculous level with the level of institutional players coming in. Unless there's a massive coup on Bitcoin and everyone in the world gets together to short Bitcoin into oblivion, an $1,100 Bitcoin it's just not going to happen. There's too much happening already for an $1,100 Bitcoin.
So you saw it here first. I'm going to assume this is his first and last name. So I'm going to pull this up. I want everyone to take note of this. What's the date today? It's June 28th. I think it's June 28th. There was the 29th. Nick James says, I'm selling my butthole at $1,100. So Nick, just want you to know, brother, you shouldn't use your first and last name when you're talking about selling yourself for Bitcoin. But hey,
I mean, unless it's branding, then it's genius.
Oh yeah, that's a whole different story. But yeah, just wanted to throw that out there. We've got people saying they sell their wife, kids. I think it was Kenton said he's selling the wife. What's Kenton say here? Wife, kids, dogs, selling them all. Yeah, you already know how we roll. Let's get into it. Okay, so that's Robert Kiyosaki. I actually like him as well. I don't know a ton about him other than the things that you were talking about, Miguel. I actually didn't know that he has made a bunch of other cockamamie predictions or whatever. But let me ask this: could this be, Miguel, a little sign to a lot of the other investors that just basically says, hey, we're here, we're towards the bottom, and we want people to keep waiting so that we can continue to buy at this rate and not push that price up? Whereas almost like it's a little indicator, because he's at these dinner parties that we like to talk about. He's definitely somebody that would be. So I wonder if maybe this is a little sign to some of the other investors. Hey, keep buying. These people are gonna keep waiting while we scoop it all up.
We always see this. When we were in the bull market, we were looking at crazy all-time highs, right? Institutions calling for a $400,000, $500,000 Bitcoin. Now we're in a bear market. Everyone's calling for 1,000, the nearest number to zero possible.
Yep.
And it's just the same thing, but on inverse, right, on its head. So don't pay any attention to these crazy super low predictions. Excuse me. We don't $1,100 is not even the charge. Let's focus on the so-called 14K. That is, the devil's basement according to CVO and Magic Internet Money. And once we get there, we'll readjust and see what levels we're going to next, if we are going to go lower than that or if we're going to have a reversal from that point. But let's not start focusing on 1,100 when we still haven't even reached the 14,000.
We haven't even hit 15. We haven't hit 14. We haven't hit 10. We haven't hit 5. And we're talking about 1,100 right now.
Just fast forward all the way to 11.
That's right. Let's go all the way there. So that being said, just a quick reminder, guys, make sure that you smash the likes. It's literally the one thing that tells YouTube that you guys like our content. Obviously, we appreciate all the engagement in the chat. And then one thing that tells us that you also like what we got going on is joining Danger Close Alpha Discord. We can't tell you enough. This free mint's about to pop off. We are working on the smart contract. There's a couple things that we are working out, and I just want to throw this out there. We've talked about the game plan being to do the drop on July 4th. We are trying to work through some things right now as it relates to the contract, just making sure that it's perfect for you. Even though it's a free mint, we want to make sure that it goes off without a hitch. And so I just want to remind you guys, that, hey, we're going to get it right for you, whether it's this
and
week,
make sure to jump into Discord, jump into the Twitter space tonight. We're going to be posting the link to the Twitter space in the Discord. Make sure you participate in these Twitter spaces. A lot of people asking about whitelist spots. A lot of people asking about certain information and questions. The Twitter space is where is your moment to shine. You get to bring brought up to the speak and ask whatever questions. And you have our full attention at that moment. So make sure you participate. That's how you're going to get whitelisted in our project. Participating, being active. We are watching and we know who's participating, who's not. And those are the people that we're going to reward with whitelist spots.
Crypto Billy, you're the man. Thank you. Says join Danger Close Alpha Discord now with the super chat. Thank you as always, Billy. We appreciate your support and we love you, brother. So thank you. All right, let's dive into the next one here. I think this is an interesting one because this is somebody that goes way back. If you've been in the crypto space for any amount of time, you might know the name Bitcoin Jesus. I'm going to touch on this briefly. Probably won't spend a ton of time on this, but let's look at it. CoinFlex. Well, hold on a second. I'm sorry. CoinFlex says Bitcoin Jesus is Roger Ver or Veer. Some people say Ver, some people say Veer. I'm going with Ver. Roger Ver is behind its withdrawal troubles. $47 million worth of debt. CoinFlex CEO Mark Lamb took to Twitter today to accuse longtime Bitcoin evangelist Roger Ver of defaulting on a $47 million loan. There's the man, the myth, the legend, Bitcoin Jesus himself. Check this out. CoinFlex, one of many crypto trading platforms to freeze customer withdrawals this month, isn't facing an ordinary liquidity crunch. Rather, CEO Mark Lamb claims there is one man responsible for the platform's financial woes, and the reason it now seeks to raise $47 million in token sale to pay off its debt. The longtime Bitcoin evangelist turned Bitcoin Cash promoter, Roger Ver. Roger Ver owes CoinFlex 47 million USDC. That's a few USDC right there, boy. Lamb tweeted on Tuesday, "We have a written contract with him obligating him to personally guarantee any negative equity on his CoinFlex account and top up margin regularly." Lamb claims that Ver, who earned the moniker Bitcoin Jesus as an early Bitcoin adopter and angel investor, has been in default on this agreement and that CoinFlex has already issued him a notice of default. Miguel, let me ask you a question, bro. So, all right. We talk about always not investing more than you're prepared to lose. We talk about how you've got to be, hip to what you're actually putting in. How do you as an individual get yourself to where you're so leveraged that you owe the platforms that you are messing around on $47 million? What is this man doing?
Dude, I don't know. But I feel like a lot of these big time investors, I wouldn't put it past them that they do something like this. And obviously through tax purposes, it makes them look, they can file for bankruptcy, whatever it is. And they still have their assets hidden, put away into these entities, LSCs, C Corps, S Corps, whatever. So they're not going to lose any of their assets. They can file for a bankruptcy, make a super high leveraged play, and that he took the money. He's just not going to pay it back somehow. So I wouldn't put it past him that he's doing something like that. And it also goes to prove that even some of these big time investors, they're some of the biggest degens, bro. They will leverage absolutely anything to make as much money as possible. And sometimes it just might not work out.
Yeah, there's a lot going on in the crypto space right now, guys. There's opportunity and there's absolute chaos. And sometimes the chaos is where the opportunity lies. But as always, do your research and don't be diving into, we're here for entertainment purposes only, but don't be diving in with money that you need to pay for your lifestyle, whatever that looks like. Just as a little reminder, Roger Ver wants you to know he owes the small sum of $47 million from doing a little too much trading. So watch out, kids.
Maybe he can sell all his Bitcoin cash.
Dude, I mean, I don't. He's probably got it, first of all. But the funny thing is, he owes it in USDC, which is probably just how they have it offset to keep that stability there. But I'm wondering what he lost his ass on so hard. Like, I know the whole market dumped, but he had to. He's when you're at that level, you have to be regularly taking profits. You've got to be doing.
Maybe he was trying to pump his own bags on Bitcoin Cash, and
maybe
it didn't work out.
Maybe, I don't know. It's definitely a thought. We got two more articles, guys. We're gonna talk about Terra Labs. We got a little bit of a scandal going on there. I know you guys are tired of Terra, but it keeps coming out more and more heat. And then stick around. We're gonna finish off with your boy Snoop Dogg. That's going to be the last.
Dude, all this Terra Labs news is going to last longer than the peg to their UST.
The articles are going to be around longer than their stablecoin actually stayed pegged to the dollar. That's correct. Terra Labs had 3.6 billion with a B in stablecoins potentially used for price manipulation, study says. Okay, tell me more. Amid accusations that the widely publicized collapse of the algorithm-based stablecoin project Terra USD, which is UST, was an inside job, Do Kwon's company Terraform Labs is facing new allegations, including having enough assets in Tether and Terra USD to use in illicit activities. Indeed, research has found that Terra Labs had close to 3.6 billion in USDT and UST that may have been used for price manipulation or money laundering in centralized and decentralized finance exchanges, according to a CoinDesk Korea article published on June 28th. During this study, CoinDesk Korea worked together with the blockchain security company Uppsala Security and used on-chain data forensic techniques, which allowed them to investigate the collapse of Terra after the incident on May 7th. In addition to uncovering that the collapse may have been the result of an inside job, they conducted additional on-chain data analysis to track the flow of undisclosed funds worth about $3.6 billion. As the article explains, CEO Do Kwon has disclosed utilization details for Terra, UST, and Bitcoin through his SNS or Terra Foundation. For instance, in the event of the UST depegging, the company will try to preserve the price using the funds it holds. However, upon examining the on-chain data, analysts discovered that the source and usage history are unclear for the crypto wallets directly owned or managed by Terraform Labs and Luna Foundation Guard. The slush funds they found this way amounted to about $3.6 billion in UST and USDT. On top of that, the analysts discovered that these funds may be used for price manipulation and money laundering of the old Luna, now LUNC, in DeFi and centralized exchanges. So, Miguel, basically what's being said here is, hey, there was a ton of money. There was a little honeypot there that they said was there to cover you, to cover me, to cover people that were, should it depeg. But it looks like there's movement that's been happening in the wallets. It wasn't just sitting there doing its thing. It was it had to have been, if they're saying forensically they can tell, it means there's large transactions coming in and out, pumping and dumping. And listen, we're not talking about 3.6 million. We're not talking about 36 million. We're not talking about 360 million. We're talking about $3.6 billion, which is more than enough, especially on the size. And, that became a huge project, but to move these funds around. Is this something that you would put past any of these individuals or institutions?
Absolutely not, dude. I mean, when we talk about money laundering, when we talk about money manipulation, it comes from these massive institutions. When they point the finger at crypto for money laundering, look at who's doing the most money laundering with fiat. The banks, right? The banking institutions, right? They get slapped with a fine every single time they launder 600 million, they get hit with a fine for like 100 million. They're paying the fees with the stolen money that they've used to make it. So, these crypto institutions, these crypto big market makers, they're doing the same thing. They're the ones that are doing the money laundering. They're the ones doing all the scammy things in the background, and the regulations come cracking down on you and me because we are the illegal, out here illegal rebels, the super coders on the internet. And it's not the average person that's doing any of the illegal illicit activities. It's the big time players, it's the institutions, and these big time crypto players are not just random people like you and me. They're connected to these institutions. They're sitting down at the same tables. They're having business meetings and drinking coffee with these people, talking about these things, because there's no other way that Do Kwon could have possibly gotten all the money out if somebody didn't tap his shoulder and say, hey, we're about to crash this thing. Hey, he was part of the plan of the people that were going to go take the money out of Gemini and do all these things to go crash this. So they're all in the same room and they're all coming up with the same plans, and then the regulation comes cracking down on us, because it doesn't come cracking down on institutional players, because they always get special privileges that the rest of us don't.
Yep. And I think it's interesting. There's a saying, I think the only way that you can keep a secret with more than 2 people or 3 people is if 2 of them are dead, right? The reality that I think is kind of interesting is that they are operating on these such large scale. Okay. And when I look back at any time I've ever done anything in my life that was maybe not so kosher and other people know about it, somebody always freaking finds out, right? It's just, it just, everybody wants to talk about it. Oh, guess what? Guess what Keeper did? Or guess what? Like people want to talk about it because it's, for whatever reason, it's enjoyable to give dirt on other people. So I don't know how these massive players, even with all the listen, Hillary Clinton, for example, guess what? Oh, I gave them all the emails I was supposed to. I did this, that, and the third. Well, guess what? No, you didn't. And there's other people that wanted to talk about it. We're talking about at top secret level clearance. So why do they think that they're able to move funds in a way that is other than kosher, taking money from people like ourselves? I saw somebody in the chat said they lost like 4K. We have a personal friend that lost over $1 million, right? And so I don't know why they think that they can that they're so up here that not only are they able to do it and willing to do it, but they also think that they're going to get away with it. And I think, and I hope that if this indeed is all true, and it's not just speculative, which it's not looking like it is, I really hope they put the hammer down on them, because the reality is this is theft in the most just egregious manner, because you not only are stealing from people, but you lured them to put more and more of their hard-earned money in, knowing that they were just going to swipe it from you. You know what I mean? So I hate everything about it. We'll see what ends up happening with it. But the reality is we need to talk to Snoop Dogg about that, because as he says, let me pull it up right here. I think this is actually a nice little transition. Snoop Dogg says the crypto bear market weeded out those abusing the opportunities. Real quick, I think that some of these huge players that are now going away, right, are the ones abusing the opportunities for sure. He also said record labels will soon realize their IP is better served on the blockchain than sitting in the catalog collecting cobwebs. There's your boy Snoop D-O-double-G. Let's see what Snoop's got to say. Snoop Dogg isn't phased. In an interview with CNBC, the rapper and his son, who goes by Champ Medici, shared their thoughts on the crypto bear market, NFTs and music, using NFTs for branding, and Elon Musk. I think it was a beautiful industry that was created, Snoop said about crypto. I feel like every great industry has a downfall. There's always a depression in every industry you could look at. Alcohol, tobacco, clothing, food. And in the long run, he argued, it may actually do the industry some good. I just feel like this weeded out all of the people that wasn't supposed to be in the space and all the people who were abusing the opportunities that were there, he said. When it comes to music, Snoop believes the big record labels will inevitably get into Web3 and NFTs because all of them have asked him for advice. And Snoop's probably right. Warner Music Group, Universal, and Sony Music have explored NFTs, which are unique blockchain tokens that signify ownership of a digital or physical asset. Sooner or later, the labels are going to have to come on in, said Snoop, who acquired Death Row Records earlier this year and has already released NFTs through the label. They're going to have to sit at the table and understand that, you know, their catalogs and things that they hold on to are better served on the blockchain than sitting in the catalog collecting cobwebs. You know, Miguel, we see this huge shift towards NFTs in so many different forms and fashion. And it's the thing that we pride ourselves on what we're doing with Danger Close Alpha. We're actually providing a real world utility. We're saying, hey, people, get ready, help yourselves get prepared. We're going to provide education both in real life and also, you know, on the internet via some of the classes, the in real life classes, all of the firearm safety stuff that we're going to, all of that, right? And we pride ourselves in that because we're offering something. I think these massive companies, somebody like Death Row Records, that's a massive company, they're trying to do the same thing in their industry. They're saying, hey, you know what? There's opportunity sitting here and we need to capitalize on it. And that is where I think we're going to see a huge shift where NFTs really do turn into the full-on utility side of things and not just hype. I think NFTs are going to be that future, like we've talked about, the, you know, the driver's license and the medical, you know, information and blah.
Yeah, 100%, dude. I mean, there's Snoop Dogg's been one of those people, right? He's capitalized heavily on all the metaverse stuff, right? His name has come back into mainstream media all the time in the crypto world because he's done so many things with Sandbox. He's done and he's continuously always doing things in the metaverse with NFTs, with Ethereum, all this stuff. So there are a lot of companies out there that are seeing the opportunity and they're going to capitalize and improve their sector by bringing NFTs into the situation, into their
ecosystem.
Into their ecosystem. There you go, that's the word. Into their ecosystem and really have that utility behind it. Other companies, they're just going to be cash grabs, right? They're just going to keep trying to sell you on the buzzwords of ownership and NFTs and whatever, and just try to catch some money from you and not really give you anything in the long run. We're kind of seeing a little bit of that already in some aspects of some companies like Facebook. But
some companies that will remain unnamed, like Facebook.
You know, don't want to point any fingers, but Mark Zuckerberg is doing this heavily. So definitely there's got opportunities. There's a lot of utility that can be done to NFTs. That's what we're trying to do here with Danger Close Alpha. So, but we always got to be careful with the Web 2 companies trying to stay hip and just, you know, cash grab some of attention by some of these things. And by the way, somebody was asking in the comments about my shirt. It is Kakashi from Naruto. It's an anime that was on my shirt.
So I think it's interesting. First of all, our channel sponsor wants to say hello real quick. Hold on just a second. Come here, Boogie. Say hello. Say hello to everybody. Can you wave at everybody? Can you wave? You say hi? Here, no, don't just grab it. Say hi. You're not gonna say hi tonight? She did some family pictures this evening, and she did a fantastic job.
She's like, I'm tired now.
I'm interested in the ugly guy on the screen. Yeah. Okay, Boogie. I love you. I think that I think that, you know, somebody like Boogie. I think that somebody like Snoop Dogg is a really I think he's like a really good, what's the word I'm looking for? He is a really good person to facilitate the entry of some of these industries because he's so like iconic. He's so hip and I think he's not like a threatening, you know, somebody like Elon Musk or whatever, right? It's so much power and they give him so much brain power. You know, Snoop, what's Snoop? Smoking some weed, you know what I mean? Like you know, he's a fantastically brilliant businessman. But
did you see his video? Did you see his music? His new music video with Eminem?
No,
Dude, it's them rapping and then it's him and Eminem rapping, and out of nowhere they go into the metaverse as their bored apes, and then it's their bored apes riding around in a lowrider, smoking and rapping, and then it cuts back to them, and it cuts back into the bored apes doing a bunch of crazy things, dude. So they're bringing NFTs everywhere, bro.
Ladies and gentlemen, this is the first time in history that Miguel has told me something that's music related. So I just want to just take a brief moment and give you a round of applause on that, Miguel. Give me some music love there. So yeah, I think that he's just a fantastic person to come into the space and say, hey, this works. Here's an opportunity. And I think that because he's not that threatening individual, but also very well known and very well liked, I think he's a good person to introduce it. That's kind of what needs to happen.
And the music aspect of it, right? It's the culture. It's building it into the culture. It's not coming from this like corporate aspect of like we're using NFTs for corporate purposes, and people are like, what the hell is that? I don't care about that. Right? It's coming from a cultural art perspective with music and being cool and creating these, new music videos that people are like, oh snap, like I know that NFT collection, right? And or maybe, hey, I own a NFT from that collection, and they get sponsored, right? It's their bored apes maybe hanging out with some other NFTs on their music video, and that starts to build a long bonding aspect of culture with younger generations as they keep watching this stuff on TV, and then the NFT thing starts to sink in more.
Yeah, I'm here for it, man. I'm excited about where the space is headed, even in this downturn, even with the markets just absolutely in the pits where they are right now. We have the NFT space that will continue to move forward. It might mold, it might change, it might become something just totally different than it is right now. But the opportunity is still there for people to take a hold like digitally of their property and be able to boom, that's mine, right? Boom, I can capitalize on that for every freaking time that it sells. And I think that music a great entry point into some of these big businesses. So
yeah, dude,
I'm excited about it. I'm excited about it. Crypto fam, what were you gonna say?
Oh no, just that, that's what we're trying to do on here, right? We're trying to create a whole new pivot with Danger Close Alpha, pushing the bounds of NFTs and real life utility, and helping a whole community of people prepare for real life scenarios, real life situations. And it all starts with an NFT. Who would have thought it would start there?
Yeah. And I think that it's also the interesting piece is like for us, Miguel, we haven't announced any of this, but like long term, we have a really big vision for what our community can do like in real life. We've talked about it a lot. We have like these huge, that might even sound like a cockamamie idea right now if I tossed it out there. So I'm going to keep it right in here. But Miguel knows what I'm talking about. And I think the interesting thing is NFTs are a way for venture capital to get into companies without having the restrictions of something like an IPO, because people are able to say, hey, wait a minute. Okay. I can buy into that. I know that this is the goal of what this project is doing. I know that this is the community. I'm going to buy into that. And I don't have to be this special person. I just have to have some liquidity that I want to provide to something I believe in. And I think that is also another huge piece of this, because the average person that's not trying to take advantage of people, that's trying to actually deliver that buzzword that is value to people, can actually do it. It's hard to do things just on your own right off the rip. We're spending money on raising artists, and it's tough, right? We have a lot of money going out with the hope and assumption that our project is going to do really well. People are going to learn a lot and it's going to do what it's supposed to do. But there is that risk on the front end. So a lot of times what people will do is try to take away some of that inherent risk and say, hey, do you guys believe? Okay, cool. Now you can fund and get into what we're doing, and they can do that through NFTs. So I think that's super cool. Sean says, Danger Close Alpha, redefining what NFTs can be. It's going to be epic. Thank you, Sean. We appreciate you.
Dude, 100%.
Crypto fam, we love you guys. If nobody's told you that before today, we want to make sure to tell you always, 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 you could be anywhere, and you are here on a Tuesday evening. So thank you guys for being here. Don't forget 2 things. 1, tomorrow night, Wednesday, 7:30, we got Zach Rector on. What If Wednesday? And we are talking about Roe v. Wade, but it's not going to be an abortion show, so don't freak out, right? We're going to be talking about Roe v. Wade, but you're actually going to get educated on what it's really about and what we think might be happening in the background, right? So be prepared for that. And then Miguel, what's going on tonight at 9 o'clock?
Twitter Spaces, baby. Danger Close
Let's
Alpha,
go.
Twitter Space. Make sure you join the Discord. Make sure you're following us on Twitter on Danger Close Alpha to stay tuned with the Twitter Space. The moment for you to shine. Ask all your questions about the project. Find out exclusive information that you don't find out here and you don't find out in the Discord. You find out in the Twitter Space. And it's your moment to be as most active possible so that we can see you in there and maybe you can get a whitelist spot.
Yeah, for sure. We are paying attention, guys. That's part of how we're doing things, is looking at the activity, and we can see it. We are tracking it. So just continue to stay active in there. Also, a little sneak peek before we jump off here. We got a little sneak peek of the bug out bags earlier this evening from our artist. And I got to tell you, super dope. And your bug out bags, as you know, after the stimulus drop, is going to be super freaking exclusive. You are literally going to get a 3-day in real life, in person prepper boot camp. So just, yeah, you want to be a part of that. So we just saw a picture of that, and he was finishing that up, and it's looking beautiful. So guys, join the freaking movement. Get in the Discord. We love you guys. We appreciate you for being here. Just remember, question everything.
Trust nothing.
And until next time, hodl
like it's hot.
We'll see you soon.